Welcome back to another video on Gearsaw Studios, and today I'm going to be showing off 23w45a, one of the snapshots for 1.21, including the Trial Chambers, a new challenging mid-game structure for combat, which includes a new breeze mob. So without further ado, let's investigate what this snapshot brings specifically. With the Trial Chambers, way too similar to the Trail Ruins, unfortunately, we have ourselves some new combat, which involves the Breeze Mob and Trial Spawners, which we'll be getting into later. Of course, a bunch of different things are going on, and of course, the Breeze Mob. This is pretty complicated. All of this requires some mid-game preparation to fight, and of course, this structure is not finished. It has some bugs involving other generation and dead ends. And we also have the trial keys, which are non-functional. If you want to see specifically what all these are, feel free to pause. Otherwise, let's view in-game what this all means. Now, we have the structures themselves, the trial chambers. And you can see they're quite large, and apparently they're going to be quite common, which is quite interesting, I'd say, and a lot of quite. Anyways, we have some chests, trial spawners, which are very interesting once you learn more about them, and these places are kinda dark. I'm going to be enabling night vision for the rest of this video for viewing's sake. And you can see, all tough bricks pretty much. The ceilings are almost always completely flat, nothing interesting up there, and the ground is copper, which makes this a fantastic source of copper, and almost invalidates copper mining. But anyways, there are no proper entrances to the structure, which means don't go looking around for a way to get in without accidentally breaking the place. There isn't a way, or at least not as of yet. And you can see various rooms show up, and they usually include structures that have copper bulbs and redstone. Not to mention, sometimes they have generation errors since this is a relatively new structure. From the outside, completely tough bricks. On the inside, we have various things such as beds in case you die, some supply chests, and of course the arenas. There's a lot going on, so best to take it step by step. For the structure, we have ourselves the new mob, the Breeze, and this mob is quite interesting. For all intents and purposes, this is a wind blaze, but once you analyze what it is, it's 1, a mini boss, 2, very interesting, and 3, quite weak alone, but is deceptively strong when in groups. In order to see how this fights, let's go into survival. And you can see, it's firing wind blasts. Very easy to avoid, and they do not seem to do anything, except large amounts of knockback. And a little bit of lag there, I don't know why. But here's the thing. 1, they're very mobile. It's going to be tough to pin them down. And 2, they activate redstone. In enclosed spaces, it can be a lot harder to dodge these, and they can be parried, which is very interesting. You can even use the traps against the enemies. For their health, they have 30 health, which makes them relatively weak, a little more than a zombie, weaker than an enderman, but hitting them might be a pain. They drop nothing as of late, and likely never will, mainly because the drops really come from the trial spawners. While that fight looked relatively easy, I was able to commentate it, well, very much. Well, it's not as easy as you might think. Here we have one of the arenas, 3 trial spawners, and each one's going to summon a different mob. This here is a skeleton one, as evidenced by the bones. Down here, a husk by the chiseled sandstone, and then the scary one, the breeze spawner. Yes. This means multiple breezes can be in one arena. Have fun. And if you don't want to torture yourself quite yet, well, I'm going to have the fun for you. Make sure that you're at full health before walking into any of these rooms, and these things will all light up. And they're going to spawn their mobs. Luckily, we only have one of those, and this can be quite the difficult encounter. Luckily, I've gotten some pretty simple mobs to deal with, but look already. The breeze has already covered the arena in water, so no depth strider, have fun. So You're gonna have to be using the unique physiology of the arena, potentially even harvesting chests with some fantastic loot midway through, and potentially eat enchanted golden apples to avoid death, and take down the mobs. Make sure that you bring some blocks with you, because evidence by me, not having blocks is seriously impairing my ability to fight, since how disruptive the water can be to the arena. Not to mention, you still have the breeze over here. It's best to target these if possible if there's no other ranged mobs. And once that's been taken down, then it will summon another, which fortunately has spawned itself in a disadvantageous position, but still, you can see I'm getting absolutely pummeled over here. So this isn't something you can run in with a simple sword and shield too. You need a bow, blocks, everything. And yes, you can parry the shots back at them in order to stun them. Or at least not stun them, but confuse them enough. Once you've taken down everything, then I'm going to put myself in creative and use my insta-kill tool over here in order to handle the rest. Each spawner will give you its reward. Sometimes you'll get trial keys. What do trial keys do? Nothing yet. Please check in on a future snapshot video if you want to learn more. But remember, these ones can provide things such as emeralds or ender pearls. You can get quite a variety of blocks, and sometimes there's multiple rounds to it, which might be pretty annoying for you. Make sure to check that there's no more mobs, because you might miss something. With everything done there, and it ejects amethyst noise, it gives me more ender pearls. So look around, make sure to fight everything, make sure to grab those keys in order to find out what they do in a future video. For the loot from these structures, well, the variety of structures, not including these are new, don't know the loot pattern yet, we have ourselves the corridors, in which you'll occasionally find long hallways with chests containing these kinds of items. Nothing too much, although a little bit of a hint on how copper works, especially since this is the copper structure. For the entrance, even though there isn't really a proper entrance, I find these randomly scattered around. We have a lot more honeycomb, arrows, wooden axes, and occasionally we even get the keys. On the intersections, you'll see these oftentimes directly before challenge rooms. We have ourselves some diamonds, diamond tools, we got emeralds, iron blocks, cake, and some amethyst. Not entirely sure what you're supposed to do with the amethyst, but okay. In the intersections where you find the beds with the barrel oftentimes just contains golden tools, although you might get lucky and find some diamond stuff. For the reward chest, I rolled this one a bunch. These are the ones you'll find scattered around, such as this one right here. The reward chest includes a bunch of different things, including enchanted golden apples, enchanted books, usually low-leveled ones. We got iron armor, enchanted, diamond stuff, enchanted. Of course, none of this is particularly well enchanted, but it's still there. And then supply chests. You'll find these in the cool hallways they showed in the teasers, where they have the copper grate flooring. These oftentimes have tipped arrows, which may help, stone tools, and food, along with some potions, which are sure to help a ton against these very, very tough structures if you're unprepared, which I'd assume most people are. To close this video off, I'm going to show footage of me going up against one of the breeze rooms, authentically, with all the traps in here, and a much larger version, to give you a better idea of what this would all look like in an actual gameplay fight. As you can see, it is completely out of control already, because, one, the breeze, I didn't even know this, is immune to arrows, so good luck taking it down. You're gonna have to rely a lot on stun locking it, and sometimes these things can spawn with tipped arrows, just to make the fights even harder. Of course, this has never been utilized before, so, take that as you will. But these encounters might be egregiously hard thanks to this. So be sure to bring yourself some milk, otherwise you're gonna end up getting destroyed like I am right now. As you can see, It is not an easy fight to take on, so be careful while taking these. And, of course, you can use debris as a shield since it will deflect arrows. And, of course, it's all bugged out right now, development stuff. But if you're lucky, or smart about it, you can potentially avoid some of the traps set off by the breezes. The last thing you want is an excessively hard arena, just because you pressed one too many buttons, got lit on fire, etc. And once you take all of this on, you'll be sure to have some sweet items for yourself. So, I'd highly recommend taking this on once the update is completely out. But you can see, this is not going to be for the faint of heart. And you can see, I am just about to be bested. So, yeah, be careful around here. Now, for my opinions on this structure. Also, I did win the last fight, it just took a while since I had to regenerate my health and that would have made the video too long. I think this is a fantastic addition to the game. The name needs some work. Trial Chamber versus Trail Ruins, and 1.20 versus 1.21. Yeah, I'd change it to something like Copper Bastion or something, or even that's bad. Maybe some sort of tough fortress. You know, that's a pun. Anyways, I think this, of course, needs a little naming work. The ceilings are a little bland, but the gameplay is awesome. It's a very tough challenge, and probably the toughest challenge we've had in Minecraft to date. Even if this is a mid-game structure, still, an unprepared player going up against a couple of breezes in a room with traps and poison arrows, have fun. Not to mention the farming potential out of these spawners. It's going to be a fantastic structure to see in game. I'd like to see the outsides renovated a little, maybe a little balancing. I mean, look at this arena. It's powdered snow. Finally, weather is necessary. But I think with some tweaking, this will end up being a fan favorite structure in Minecraft. And with that, it's the end of today's video. If you enjoyed this video, remember, please like and subscribe. It really helps me out. Either way, enjoy the rest of your day. Have fun in the new structures. In fact, post your experiences down below. I'd love to see how people have been dealing with this structure. Gearsaw out.